What's good, YouTube? This your boy Chopper Style, bringing you a review for Mulan. This review is definitely going to contain some spoilers. I can't talk about this movie without spoiling a lot of it. But with that said, let's just jump into it. I'm gonna talk about the good things about Mulan first because I have a lot of bad. But the good thing about Mulan that I can notice up front is the action. The action is way more over the top. Mulan was just a straight up beast in this movie. I mean, her fighting skills were great from the beginning. In the cartoon, she had to learn how to fight and all this. In this one, she already knew how to fight and then some. I mean, she's able to do some Crown to Tiger, Hidden Dragon type stuff, floating through the air, flips. I mean, she could kick a sword better than she can shoot a gun or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. Her accuracy with kicking a damn sword or some type of knife, it's crazy. So seeing the action scenes, you knew it was about to be some good stuff. I mean, my favorite scene was actually the avalanche scene. That I was so happy to see them recreate that because I didn't think they were going to be able to. It was pretty accurate. That was probably one of the most accurate things from the movie to the cartoon. You know, Almost identical. I loved it. It was kind of quicker, but still, the way they captured it, the dude being stuck in the snow, I like that. The special effects, they were pretty good in this as well. I never looked at who was playing in this movie, like the cast, until I actually seen the movie. So I didn't even know Jet Li was in the movie. It was really, really good to see Jet Li play such a important role. Also Donnie Yen, another well-known, actor, and he plays a big role. It was really good to see them two. They did their roles very good. I mean, the acting from almost every character was decent. It was all good. The acting was fine. The action was fine. There was even funny parts throughout the movie, and I chuckled here and there, but nothing was like extremely funny. But there was some soft moments in the film, and that was enjoyable to see too. It wasn't just all serious. But now it's time for me to get into the bad things. It's really not too much good I can say about this movie. It was good up until about halfway point, and then after that, it just made me mad the longer it went on. First, I want to start with this new magical character that they have. Hope I'm saying this right, but the actor's name is Gong Li. And yo, why did they put her in this movie? She would never need to be a part of this movie. She is what made everything like pointless almost because her powers were OP. No one else could mess with her powers. I mean, she's able to shapeshift into any person and infiltrate and learn everything. She knew everything the whole time. Like there was never no threat of if the bad guys were going to succeed because of her. And then she's also very powerful. She could have took out Mulan or anybody if whenever she wanted to, but she just chose not to. You know, and I just didn't like that. It should have been between her and the main villain, Khan. Khan was a very big part of the Mulan animated show or movie. And in this one, he was kind of like a side piece. He almost felt like the sidekick because you rarely see him in Mulan going at it. They have one big fight scene at the end. That's it. But up until then, you don't see much of Khan. And it's like, what? His army and his minions, they were all ruthless and deadly. And you don't really get to see much of that. Like this film cut out all the good parts of Mulan. They added in really good action, but they skipped over all the meaningful things. They had like a dragon, but it wasn't Mushu. You just seen the dragon throughout the film, and I guess it's supposed to signify, help or whatever. Like if you didn't see this movie, the cartoon version, you wouldn't understand anything of what's going on in this movie. They don't explain much. There's no Mushu, there's no cricket. They do play some part, like the parts that they put in the movie, I wouldn't expect them to put in. Like the part where she spilled the tea and all that, that part was in there. And instead of the cricket, it was the spider. And it's like you can add that, but you can't add more character development when she went to the training grounds. Chimpo and Yao, all them, like they're in the film, but you don't really see them much. They talk and joke every once in a while. And it's like there was no character development in that. This movie was strictly about Mulan, like 100%. And they just skipped over everything. Like you really never got a feeling for Mulan because like where she's coming from or how bad she feels because they don't show you anything. When she made her transition from a girl to a guy, that was like something big in the movie, in the cartoon movie. In this one, she's a girl one moment, and then you see her taking the sword and the armor, and the next thing you know, she's dressed already that quick. And it's like there's no build up. You know, in the training grounds, you don't even see them struggling that much. They're struggling a little bit, and then all of a sudden, she's just powerful as hell. And it's like, what? So, like, she didn't even need the training, and she's with men, okay? I'm not to discredit Mulan's ability, but what was the point of the army? She did all the work. I mean, what did they do? They kept other people busy while she took out everybody else. I did like seeing her be a beast, but it's like the other characters, you can make them important too. Even Donnie Yen, like you seen him doing a little bit of work, but Mulan outshined that. I mean, she was taking out multiple dudes by herself. I mean, it was kind of crazy. And then the avalanche scene, you know, it was her versus pretty much the whole army. She was behind them. And they shoot some fire cannonball nowhere near Mulan. Like you're aiming at her or she had helmets up to make it seem like it was more people. They shot an airball. I mean, in the middle of nowhere. It's like they were trying to create an avalanche. It's like, what? That just wasn't believable. Like the movie just really went out its way to be bad. I felt like on purpose, and it just makes no sense. Disney, they are too big of a company, and they have some great cartoon movies and you can't make a live action better than this. I mean, even a copy and paste would have been better than this. Like they just took all the good parts out and just focused on the action and just didn't care about no character development. You didn't care about anybody in the film. Like literally, there was nobody you really cared about. Especially if you didn't watch the first Mulan, you would have not really cared at all. I'm just watching the movie and I got to, getting the build up and then it's just after that, I constantly just got mad over and over and over again. Like, dude, there's no way. And then the shape-lifting lady, you got all this magic and all this power. She is, ridiculously powerful. And she gets killed by an arrow. Are you kidding me? You couldn't have stopped that? Like, she was beating up multiple people at a time, able to turn into a flock of birds and all this, and then you just take an arrow? There's no way that should have happened. And then the final fight with Mulan and Khan. Dude, they picked the worst possible place to have a fight on a wooden plank, stories above the ground, holding it by a rope. What? Like they could at least had a raw fight scene towards the end. All these good fight scenes, and the final one was so stupid. Like, yeah, they took the part where, she took his sword. Okay, cool, but she defeated him a little easily. And it's like they could have had a better fight. Like if you're gonna focus so much more on the action, you could at least make the action worthwhile. But I don't know what else to say, man. The movie, good half point, and then it's just downhill from there. They took all the heart and soul out of this movie, and not to mention the songs. Okay, if you don't want to flood the movie with songs, okay, you don't have to. But some of those songs are really, really good. Like, who is that girl? Like, how many actors or how many singers could you have got to make that song and make it sound really good? But no, they just do an acapella. They didn't do not one song. I'm like, how you have a Disney movie, a remake, and not have one song? If Aladdin can do all those songs, but Mulan can't even do one, it was all acapella pretty much. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, what? I don't understand the point of this movie. They took everything out of it. Literally everything, all the character development. It was lazy. This probably has to be the worst reviewed movie on my channel so far. If I had to rate this, I'm giving it a D. I can't give it no higher than that, man. This movie didn't have much. The cartoon version blows us out the water. It's way better. It has way more in-depth, you get character development it makes you laugh. The scenes are actually funny. In this live action Mulan, the funny scenes are so spread out. You kind of forget that the film has that side to it. It'll be all serious and normal, and then they'll have a joke. And then they'll have another joke like 20 minutes or 30 minutes later. It's like, what? At least make it funny, something. I mean, man, this movie had great potential, a great cast. It's just the storytelling, the pacing, 100% off. Everything else was fine. It's just the pacing, and whoever directed this movie, they could have did a better job. It's not hard to remake, a Disney movie. Don't go so far out the box. At least keep the moments that made the movie good. That's not hard to do. Just do that, and you got a great movie because the visuals looked amazing. You know, I love that part. But anyways, if you like the review, please give me a like, comment, subscribe, share if you like. Chopper Style out.